The People's Champion, your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut live from the hellhole. Let me fix myself up here. I'm all screwed up here. These are much more, a little more together. What's going on here with this shirt? But anyway, this is not what you wanted to watch. The Mets won they won the series in Cincinnati, 2-1. They won today 3-1. Manaea again pitched well. Now, before we end this video, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try to do as many live streams as I can as we go forward. And, of course, we're going to have a lot of different things here. I would mention that there's a lot of stuff going on with the Mets off the field with the in the minor leagues today. Seems that J.D. Martinez is not going to be ready. He's not going to be ready. I have a video on him on the prospect hut. And I would mention that Drew Gilbert went on the injured list because he has a mild hamstring pull. Has a mild hamstring pull, and he's probably gonna be out for a few weeks. That's the one thing about playing in the cold weather is that you can get those kind of injuries. But you saw some slumping bats, some ice cold bats wake up today. Most prominently, Francisco Lindor. He had a double in the game and he had a home run in the game. About time. He's now hitting 083, which is fine. So was he 3 for 36? Hey, that's fine. You know what? He's going to carry the team, eventually, But he's a very slow starter. I think we've kind of sort of seen that now with the Mets, how slow he is at getting warmed up. And we're going to have to deal with this probably the next few years with him. But he had a good game today. 2 for 5, a home run, scored 2 runs, and of course a double. So he had a very strong game today. Now please like this video, of course, as we go on. It's not going to be a very long live stream. Just wanted to get this on. I wasn't sure I was going to do it today. But the Met pitching, again, after they didn't have much bullpen flexibility last night, and they really, the doubleheader killed the club. The doubleheader killed the club on Thursday because obviously the Mets were kind of hamstrung with the pitching. And then they came back to back with all their big relievers on Friday night. But Manaea pitched great again. He's now 1-0 to start the season. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, gave up a run, had 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He had a sort of a issue in the 4th inning, but he was able to get a ground ball double play, and Brett Beatty, he's played really well defensively. He did have a screw up last night when he didn't keep the ball on the infield, but he has played really, really good defense. And you can see the hard work that he's put into it. So that's a good sign. And he made a good play. Mets got a 5-4-3 double play at the end of the 4th inning, and Manaea came back out for the 5th, and that was pretty much it. The Reds, I tell you. I'm surprised. I thought they would do much better offensively in this series, other than last night. Obviously, Severino pitched okay, but he went 5 innings. On Friday, the Mets pitcher pitched really well. But Manaea, again, this is a guy that was not really in the rotation last year, I guess, with the Padres or the Giants, whoever was pitching last year. But he's pitched really well, and we know it's just 2 starts. But I know that the velocity they said wasn't as high as they would have liked. I don't know what the velocity was in this start today, because I got home. I was out during the day, so I wasn't able to watch the beginning of the game. Hello, Stoney, 814. Hi, Hud. The Mets get their first series win of the year. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think anybody at the moment is going to be wanting to trade any of these players just yet. Nobody's getting traded yet. But you never know tomorrow on WFN, the fan. Jorge Lopez came in the game, got a hold. He's pitched pretty good since he's been here. Brooks Raley, he kind of had some walks that he sort of had to navigate. Adam Ottavino came in the 8th inning. He pitched really well. And I'll tell you, Edwin Diaz looked great today. He looks great. He overpowered Fraley in his first at bat. In the first batter that he faced, he really overpowered him. And he threw a fastball up, and then he had no shot. He had no shot. And he threw a wicked slider to end the game. He threw one nasty slider, boy. That pitch was not getting caught at all. Martini had no chance, to be honest with you. So it was a nice win. It was a very tidy win. There was no errors in the game by the Mets, thankfully. They got to get a handle on this defense. Hopefully they can find a way to do that. But the pitching is really what, obviously, I mean, we all know this. If you're watching this channel, you know that pitching carries, the day. And the Mets pitching obviously was so bad last year. The starting pitching was so bad. It's nice to see a major improvement over the first few games of this season over last season. And this is not a very heralded group, obviously. I mean, they took a lot of slings and arrows coming into the season. Obviously, it's only 9 games now. It's only 9 games, but it's a good start to this season. This will get them to 500 where they need to be. Now they're going to Atlanta. It's going to be tough. Just do the best you can there. That's all you can do and hope for. I'm sure if they lose to the series, they'll be complaining from those scumbags. I mean, from WFAN. I was thinking about this, folks. I was thinking about this. From Stony 814. Is the JD Martinez news bad news, Hut? You're going to put in... I'm going to be putting out a video. It's not bad news. It's just regular soreness that he's dealing with. That's why he's not going to be ready for the Atlanta series. They said that he's just dealing with regular spring training soreness. Now, this is something that I noticed with the fan, the guys at the fan this week. I noticed it this week. Brandon Tierney and Keith McPherson, the self-proclaimed shill for the Yankees, they all went to the Yankee Stadium. They all took pictures of themselves. They all took selfies. They looked like they were enjoying themselves. And I thought to myself, well, that's okay. I don't care. But what is interesting is how much they look like they enjoyed themselves. And I thought to myself, I don't remember ever seeing any of the guys at WFAN that are supposed Met fans getting dressed nice to go to the ballpark in their fan gear and looking like they're having a good time. It doesn't seem like they've done that at all. It doesn't seem like they enjoy being a Met fan. It doesn't seem like they enjoy watching the games. It doesn't seem like they enjoy going to the Citi Field. So what do they like about being Met fans? Just a question. Here's from Serge Whitty. What is your thoughts on Rhys Hoskins? He's a jerk. I would mention this about Hoskins. The guy is coming back from knee surgery, major knee surgery that knocked him out for a year. And in the first game that he plays for another team, he tries to take out Jeff McNeil. Isn't that like putting his knee at risk? How stupid is that? It sounds dumb to me. It looks dumb if you think about it in that way. And I don't think anybody mentioned it during the game. Why is he taking that kind of a risk with a bad knee? Because that knee will never get better. I will say this also. Remember Daniel Murphy? Daniel Murphy had that same injury 2 years in a row. In 2010, he got sent down to the minors and didn't make the Mets. And a week into him learning how to play second base, he had his knee blown out by a base runner. In 2011, in the middle of the year, I think right after the All-Star break, same thing happened. He had his knee taken out. So that you can have that knee taken out a couple of times. And it's that knee injury that really made Murph retire. I guess after 2018, 2017, 2018. So that's a very difficult injury. So to play that kind of game that Hoskins did, he's stupid. Really, really dumb. From Stony 84, I heard that Hoskins got suspended a couple games. When I look back into it, it was good. He got suspended? Really? I don't think he got suspended. I hadn't heard that today. He got suspended? I don't think he got suspended. But to get into the offense a little bit, Brandon Nimble's now hitting 103. It's early. But he did have a walk. Like I said, Francisco Lindor went 2 for 5, hit a home run, hit a double, drove in a run. I would mention Nimble had a score, had an RBI. Pete Alonso was 0 for 4. Pete tried to get hit by pitch late in the game, but he didn't move he didn't make any kind of attempt to get out of the way. Francisco Alvarez went 1-for-3. He's playing really well. I mean, I'm very happy the way he's played. Needs to draw out more runners, but his pitching, his catching's been really good. His pitch selection has been really good. Obviously, he's hitting really well. 333 batting average, 935 OPS. He's had a very strong start. Got to keep him healthy. Got to keep him on the field. Stoney, oh really? The irresistible chicken sandwich. To see the Mets winning their first series, we need to have that same energy against the Braves next. Also, will the pitch clock be banned or not? Don't think it's the only thing causing injuries. From Julio Top Notch, do you know when Julio Teheran's first pitching game will be? Tomorrow, Julio. Tomorrow. The biggest reason that these are throwing too damn hard, folks. An arm is not meant to throw 100 miles an hour. Now, I know that last year or so, that Shane Bieber, that I was hearing a lot of people writing to me, you don't want that guy, his velocity is down. When there was talk that the Mets were going to get him, they were talking about him. You cannot throw 100 miles an hour. I mean, you really cannot throw that hard. From Muttley and Love. One has to start for Atlanta tomorrow. I wonder if he'll throw at Pete again. Let me tell you something about Charlie Morton. How many years in a row are we going to hear about, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. And then, he hits Pete last year. It got away from me. Bullshit. They don't care if it comes inside. If it hits a player, they don't care. They don't care. I'm not a fan of, obviously, the Braves. We're not fans of the Braves here. And I'm certainly not a fan of Charlie Morton. Can we hear one more time, Charlie Morton? I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. Then he gets like a 2-year contract. I'm not retiring. They gave me more money. There's a lot of strange things going on with that Braves team. They got a guy who beat his wife up that they cheer. A guy that's constantly getting in trouble with the law. He can't get behind the wheel because he's constantly drinking. But you know what? They're great, aren't they? They're wonderful. You know what? They take less money than everybody else. There's all kinds of rumors about stuff that's going on with their organization, but who knows? And then exactly there, Julio Top Notch. Braves fans are deranged too, just saying. They're the nastiest fans. The nastiest fans, folks, on YouTube. I cannot believe how nasty the Braves fans are. They're horrible. Horrible. Hago 3342 says, what are your thoughts on the Giants? They're going to be tough. They've made a lot of moves late. I'm not a big fan of Blake Sheld. I call him Blake Sheld just because I think it's funny. But he's going to pitch well. I mean, I don't know how far along he is in terms of his where he is. I mean, he's probably going to take another 2-3 weeks to get ready for the season. I know I saw a video of him on the mound at the ballpark in San Francisco. They know how to win there. I know that the last year or two has been kind of rough there, but I think they're going to be pretty good. I am not nearly as high on the Dodgers as everybody else is. I mentioned Shohei Ohtani has not won anything in his career as a player. Although I will say this, him batting behind Mookie Betts, I guess that's why Mookie's hitting the way he is. You'd think a guy batting behind a great player helps that other player that's batting in front of him? Yes. That's the biggest complaint I've had about the Mets is that they haven't had a quality batter, a quality hitter behind Pete Alonso. And Ohtani batting behind Mookie is an example of that. And then you get people complaining that Pete's batting average is 218. Hey, did you see Vogelback? You see Vogelback last night playing for the Blue Jays, embarrass himself on the base path? The guy couldn't make it to third. They threw him at a little ground ball to Volpe, and he threw him out at third. I mean, the guy can't move. And then he struck out later in the game. Pathetic. Hago 3340 says, what do you pick for World Series? Mine is the Rangers again. Rangers are pretty good. That's a pretty good pick. I got the Orioles and I have the Phillies. That's who I have. The Orioles and the Phillies. To be honest with you, because the Phillies have been in the last few years, um, and the Orioles. The thing about the Orioles, they are, in my view, they need a veteran player on that team as an everyday, not an everyday player, but a guy that could be on the. I thought Tommy Pham would have been a perfect guy for them. Uh, Now I'm glad that they have new ownership now. That is going to make a big difference because, to be honest with you, the fact that the Angelos were there, and Angelos over the last, and this is the son of Peter Angelos, John Angelos, was complaining the last year or so that he wasn't going to spend any money, and if he was going to spend money, he was going to raise ticket prices. Wasn't boding well for the franchise. But now you have a new ownership group there that wants to spend money, and the first thing they did was they brought in Corbin Burns. So they're now a player for good players anyway. Um, I mean, they're going to be in it. I know the Yankees have played well, but the Yankees pitching is not great. Um, they don't have Jerry Curl. He's not around. Um, and Nestor Cortez is a goofball. Hago 33-42. The Phillies lost to the Nats though. It's early in the season. I think the Nationals are going to be a little bit better. I noticed that the Marlins won today. They're now 1-9. Whew, thank God for the Marlins in this division. Because if the Mets were not like playing well, and we didn't have the and the Marlins won in this division, then people be flipping out. You know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, the Nationals are going to win games during the year. Uh, they're probably another year or so away. They're not quite ready yet. They're not, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on with their ownership. They're talking about selling the team. Excuse me, and now we're talking about them not selling the team. Hago 33-42. They can't seal the division though. You know what? With all these wild cards, Hago, it doesn't matter about the division. Divisions doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't matter at this point. What the deal is. Who wins the division? I mean, the Diamondbacks didn't win the division last year, and look how many games the Dodgers won. The Dodgers won over 100 games. The Braves won over 100 games. And even 2 years ago when the Braves, tied the Mets, for the division, they were out pretty quick. I mean, the Phillies got them in the second round, and that was the end of them because they shot their wad when they played the Mets. There's a lot of strange things that happen with the Braves, to be honest with you, but that's for a different video. From Stony 814, has Tommy Pham signed for a team yet? No, he hasn't. And I'm surprised he hasn't because he played so well last year and was so important to that Diamondbacks team in postseason. And obviously, a guy like him, he is a perfect guy, like I said, for the Orioles. Because the Orioles are a young team, and you need a veteran guy who's crazy about winning. All he cares about is winning, winning, winning. The guy cares about winning in fantasy football. He'll beat the shit out of somebody that he's playing. And, that's the kind of guy you want on your team. And when you have a guy like that, it really makes a big difference for a young team. Hago 33-42. What's the record of the Pirates? That I don't know. I thought they were 6-2. They got off to a good start. That division is not a bad. I mean, the National League Central is not a bad division. The Reds have a lot of talent. I mean, but they're still young. I mean, De La Cruz is going to be a very good player, and Encarnacion Strand is going to be a good player. Hunter Green's got great stuff. I mean, those guys are going to be really good. The Cubs are going to be there. The Brewers are going to be there. Davy Jones says, your views on Bader and Severino and the other new folks. It's very early. Bader's just there to keep the seat warm. until one of these young guys is ready. Now, I wouldn't mention about Drew Gilbert. He's going to miss some time because he's got a mild hamstring injury. Severino, he did not pitch well his first game, but he pitched okay on Friday, I think. Or yeah, yesterday. He pitched okay yesterday, but you can't have a second inning where he gives up those over 25, 30 pitches and then struggles in the fifth. I mean, it's impossible to win games like that, to be honest with you. Anthony Guido says, I think we could sneak in as a wild card team. He also says, I also really like Manaea. Well, the results have been excellent. He is a guy that he's been a guy that's bounced around, obviously, but he was a number one pick. So this guy has the talent within him to be a very good pitcher. And he sort of has struggled at the major league level. Now, the Mets signed him to a one-year deal with him having an option. I like what I've seen. Obviously, the result is there. That's the most important thing. As long as the result is there, that's the most important thing in this situation. Now I'm a little annoyed because next week they're going to retire Doc Gooden's number. I'm going to miss it. I got to do something on Sunday. But that's going to be disappointing for me. But you can always watch and replay anyway. But, the Mets, like I said, the pitching is the most important thing that'll put the Mets. Hagel Thursday 42. Nah, the Braves will sweep. You don't know that. You don't know what happens until the games are played. And if they sweep them, they sweep them. It's still very early in the season. But we'll see. I mean, I don't. The Mets got to be a lot tougher. I know that there was a video done by John. I haven't seen it. By John Boy showing how nice the Mets are. That's a big problem. There needs to be a nasty killer instinct with this ball club and with this organization, from top to bottom. Because the days of the Mets getting stomped on by the Braves should be coming to an end. That's why they have to be much more prudent in the kind of players they bring into the organization. We all want players to be nice guys outside the lines. But you want to have guys on your club that are going to be motherfuckers, excuse my language, mofos in between the lines, okay? I don't really watch basketball that much, but I remember back when the one thing I liked about basketball back when is when the Knicks hired Pat Riley. One of the things that changed with the Knicks was that when there would be opponents that would be on the ground, beyond the court, that fell. The Knicks players would try to help them up, and that stopped with Pat Riley because his attitudes don't help the opponent up. And that's an attitude that's got to change with the Mets, and in particularly against the Braves, because the Braves like to take advantage of the Mets. We know they like to do that, and the Phillies like to do that. And we know that the Mets are very talented. They've been very talented for a very long time. Even though the result hasn't been there, you cannot allow these teams to walk all over you. We saw last year during the celebration with the Phillies that the Phillies were screaming about the Mets after they beat the Braves. I guess in the NLDS, you cannot, and the Hotties cannot allow that to happen. That is a message that is sent that teams are very much irritated by how the Mets are, and the fact that a guy. Now, I would mention this before I forget. Going back to Charlie Morton, who's going to pitch tomorrow. Charlie Morton hitting Pete Alonso basically destroyed the Mets season last year. Because Pete obviously was hurt, was on the IL for 10 days. He came back, he wasn't the same. And the month of June was a disaster. An absolute, complete, total disaster. And when you have that kind of an injury and you allow the Braves to take advantage of you like that, it destroys your season. From Anthony Guido, we can split the year total with the Braves. We can compete with anyone. It's only with 13 games now. It's not like it's 19 games. It's not like 18, 19 games like before. We get the more balanced schedule, which I'm not a big fan of. But a couple other things before I forget. Starling Marte had a good game. He played, and he had 2 stolen bases last night. He had 2 hits today, scored a run. He's looked pretty good. Tyrone Taylor again came up. He had 2 hits today with a double. He can hit. You know, Jeff McNeil's hitting 115. He had a bunch single today. Harrison Bader is hitting 192. Like I said, he's a placeholder until one of these kids is ready. Luis Angel Acuna is now on deck to being the closest guy to the majors with this injury to Drew Gilbert. I'll have a video on the Prospect channel about Gilbert, and also have a video on JD Martinez on the Prospect Hut. I also have a video on this story about what happened in the Angels game last night. That our former announcer Wayne Randazzo basically ripped into Major League Baseball, which I love. And he ripped into Ohtani. He ripped into the uniforms. I mean, he went scorched earth on Major League Baseball. Hago, you're getting yourself very close. There's no need to be talking like that. I'm surprised he's not cursing at me. The Mets are collapsing. From what? Okay? We're 9 games into the season. If you don't like the Mets, why are you here? I have a basic question. If you're not a Mets fan watching my video and watching the live streams and all that, why are you here? And why are you asking me all kinds of questions about all these different matchups? I would mention I don't do this full time. If you want to know about what people think, you talk to a broadcaster. Talk to a professional broadcaster that cares about other teams. I don't care about other teams. Except when the Mets play them. A bit of a chatty Cathy, this guy. He likes to talk, this guy. It's like the Riddler. It's like that your nickname, the Riddler. From Cooler Top Notch. You may have talked about this, but did you see how ugly the Mets black jerseys are this year? Not just the cheap materials, but the simplification of the jersey is horrendous. It is. Because part of it as an artist, you can't see the lettering. Okay? I mean, it really is. I would mention, I have some mods here, folks. You guys can put him on shut him up. Oh, he's an Astros fan. Oh. Hey, we need some trash cans here. Need some trash cans. An Astros fan. Keep him in the chat, folks. An Astros fan. Oh. They don't have to worry about playing well. Just hit the can. When you hit the can, that's a different kind of comment and a different kind of saying with the Astros than just going to the bathroom. I'm going to hit the can. Oh, Altuve's up. Altuve, who hits a home run, and they tried to pull his shirt off. Folks, and he held onto his shirt for dear life because he was all mic'd up. He's more mic'd up than the announcers were. I wonder if it was like a buzzer, like they had in Casino. You ever seen the movie Casino? Have you ever seen the Casino? You know, where Robert De Niro catches the guys cheating and their little buzzer there. And here's another Braves fan, Anna McGinnis. You know what it is, folks? I've said this. From Prodigy, says the Braves are like the Astros. It's just they haven't quoted. Ding, ding, ding. Where's my bell? Ding, 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 ding. That is it. Correctamundo. Because how do you play 800 baseball from June of 2022 till October 2022, and then you get kicked out of the playoffs in the second round? That should tell you everything. And meanwhile, and all this stuff is going on in Atlanta. Again, how do you hit 60 more home runs than the Dodgers did last year? How do you do that? Stony 814, Braves fans are coming in here now because we got the Braves next. Let me tell you something. Like I've said, the New York Mets are America's team. To all you Braves fans and to every fan in Major League Baseball, the New York Mets, this team is America's team because you are so in the Mets are the Braves. I'm getting all screwed up here because I'm getting all excited. The Braves fans And all the other fans are so invested with the Mets because they care, folks, what happens with the Mets, good, bad, or indifferent. And because of how that is, that means they care about what happens because they see a lot of themselves and the struggle, a lot of themselves and what happens with the Mets. You know, you do all this stuff, you spend a lot of money, you put your best foot forward, and everything falls to pieces. They see a lot of themselves in that. So it's a rather pretty wild chat. Hey, Prodigy, I've seen the Mets play good teams like the Dodgers and stuff. You don't see every single player locked on to every single pitch. But when they played the Braves, any pitch they throw was crushed. Exactly. There was a rumor I heard about 3 years ago online that the Royals, were doing that stuff in 2014. That was the rumor. And if you look at that series that the Mets played against the Royals, how they were always jumping on the first pitch, and the only game that the Mets beat the Royals was in Game 3 after Noah threw at Escobar in that first pitch. That nonsense stopped. You know, but boy, I got a lot of angry messages. Good thing I got this YouTube angry fans, boy. Thank God I got all these sort of holds on here. Let's see here. Let's see. I think we have a chance against the Dodgers, like the Dodgers against the teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees. The Mets are going to be playing the Dodgers in a couple of weeks. I'm very concerned because they're going on the road trip. Now, they played well last year when I guess they went to Los Angeles. But obviously, with all the insanity with Ohtani going on, my goodness. Guy's a gambling degenerate. He doesn't like the fans, but he's Babe Ruth. He's Babe Ruth, folks. He is the Bambino incarnate. 2 pitch, 2 Tommy Johns in how many years? But he is the great Bambino, even greater than the iconic, the great Babe Ruth. He is greater. Skin Dump says, how long have you supported the Mets? Many years, folks, many years. I don't talk much about myself here. It's all about the Mets and you folks. It's not about me. It's all about you and our love for our favorite team, America's team. I think Anna McGinnis is not ready. Thank you for timing her out. I would hope that I probably should skadoosh my baller. Anna's not really a lady. Most ladies don't watch my show. Well, I know my chat. I know the people that watch my videos. I will have a live stream tomorrow. We'll see how late the game's over. Because those games in Atlanta seem to take a long time. Hago says 3342. I like Pete Alonso just for his charitable contributions. He is a good guy. But the media hate his guts here in New York. They hate his guts. They really do. Spaz Licata from WFAN, they absolutely hate him for whatever reason. I think it's maybe because he might not be a degenerate like them. I think that's what it is. Muttley in Love. I heard the problem with Strider isn't his arm. He choked on his mustache. Oh, okay. I would mention Muttley. I do the jokes around here. Okay. From Coolio, do you think if Pete was a Yankee, they would be worshiping him? Let me tell you something. Brandon Tierney is a two-faced guy because he'll complain about a player that isn't on his team. He'll say something like, he said this last year about the Giants quarterback, Daniel Jones. The Giants should let him go and let him become a free agent. But then the next couple days later, he says, you know what? The Jets should sign him. This is before they got Aaron Rodgers. Oh, the Jets should sign him. What an asshole. But he does that. That's why they're going crazy about. That's why they're going crazy about Pete wanting to be a Yankee. Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, bullshit. He's a full of crap. An irresistible chicken sandwich. One of the great names. One of the great names. When Pete mashes meatballs off the third deck, they'll change the tune real quick. Pete's great. Pete is a good guy. He comes across as a good human being, and I think that's why the media hate him so much. Now, if you like this insanity, please like this video, this live stream. Stony 814 says Frank the Tank Fleming is two-faced. He's a grifter, Stony. He is a grifter of the major order. The guy grifts off of this idea that he's a long-suffering Met fan. He's a nut job. He's just fucking crazy. Just like Joe Beningo, who, by the way, is the one guy I don't like from WFN. He might be the one guy I'll say I hate him. I don't hate him. That's the one guy I cannot stand. Skidum says the Mets will lose to the Yankees, okay? What are you like a... Hey, Skidum, are you like a... We've got a lot of people in here that think they know that they... that look into the future. You got a crystal ball? Mets have played pretty well against the Yankees the last few years. Finally got themselves a really good player. Now, here's the thing that I like about Juan Soto that makes him a great, and I mean a great player as opposed to Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. What makes him so great is he has mastered the idea of staying healthy. What a novel idea. Let's stay healthy. Let's be healthy, folks. Thor says Frank gets tiresome very quickly for sure. Tiresome. He's like grabbing onto his hat. He's like holding on. Holds onto this thing. He's nuts. And he's a broadcaster. He's got a professional background in broadcasting. So it's all meant for the camera. Now, somebody did write to me a couple months ago saying that they sat behind him during the Met game last opening day. He was flipping out. I think they won opening day. The guy has no, he's so full of shit. This is what it is. He's full of shit. You know somebody that's full of shit? That guy's full of shit. Well, I'm going to end this live stream because I'm tired. Time to go have something for dinner, I think. And I want to thank you all for coming by. And, of course, I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. Now, hit that like button. And, of course, you're coming by for the first time. Please subscribe. If you're a fan of the Braves, I don't want you here. Stony14 says, you can't understand anything Frank when he yells. It's like, what the F? Oh, well, yeah. You need sort of like, you have to listen carefully, and you need kind of like an interpreter. It's like that, that's what you need. Coolio Top Notch says, the New York Rangers are winning the Cup this June, Hut. Number one team in hockey. They've played really great. They played a game. What was that game they played outdoors against the Islanders? Oh, my God, they played great. I watched that game. I love those games outdoors, but they played a great game. Just awesome. They've looked really good. I've seen some games. Here's the thing about hockey. It doesn't do well on this platform. It just doesn't. It doesn't do well here at all. And that's not my forte. The Riddler, known as Skidum, wants to know who's your favorite player, past or present, before I end this stream. Better write quickly. Puzzles, who seems to be a little confused. I would mention the Mets beat the living tar out of them 2 years ago. The Mets beat the hell out of... Is that Ethan Van Sciver? That might be. I don't think he uses any alternate accounts. The past, my favorite player was Gary Carter. And then Dwight Gooden. And then Keith. And then Darryl. And I like Mike Piazza. He was pretty good. He was a pretty good player, wasn't he? He was pretty damn good, that guy. And I love Robin Ventura. Now president. Oh, Pete. Pete's pretty good. Pete Alonso. So, I want to thank you all for coming by. Hopefully, you like this insanity. This is a very different live stream. You get all the all the professionals on this platform. They talk about everything you want to talk about. I tell you what I think. Because YouTube's not going to be around forever. Braves aren't going to, the Braves. YouTube's not going to be around forever. Google's not going to be around forever. Khalil Topnotch says, thanks, HUD. Have a great week. I will be back tomorrow in a live stream, hopefully. God willing, after the game, I guess. And I'll have videos later on the Baseball HUD 2 and on the Prospect Hub. We'll probably talk about Martinez and Drew Gilbert. So, thank you for watching this live stream. Have a good day. Let's go, Mets, and I'll see you later.